Hi, I'm Jamie Lewis and welcome back to thebasis.net. Today I've got a really cool product to share with you called the ENKI AMG-2. It's a dual bass case that is going to change your world. If you normally bring two basses to the gig or on an airplane or in the tour bus or wherever. So don't go anywhere. I guarantee you're going to want to see this. So like I said, this is a dual bass case. There's actually two instruments in here right now. And if you take a look at it, you can see, man, this thing has, it's been through the ringer already. So it can definitely withstand the beatings from being on the road. I've been on tour for about the past 5 weeks now. So this case has seen well over a dozen airports, at least 5 different airlines, and plenty of abuse from the airline baggage handlers. So after putting it through its paces over the past several weeks, I've decided now's a great time to share my feedback with you. And let me first of all just say that I am extremely impressed with this thing. I do fly dates all the time. I'm always traveling with my basses, and this thing has held up almost to all of my expectations. And of course, this is going to be a very fair and honest review. They're not paying me to give this thing a good grade. So I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. The things that this case does exceedingly well, where its shortcomings are, and even some of my suggestions to ENKI in case they want to, update the model in the future. So anyways, let's start by talking about the good stuff. The pros of the ENKI AMG-2. Now this thing checks out in every important way possible. And when I say important, I'm talking about its durability and its ability to keep your instrument safe while traveling. As you can see, it is definitely roadworthy. It's got a roto-molded polyethylene shell, which honestly, I don't know what the hell that means, but I know it's the same manufacturing process and material as like a whitewater kayak or a Yeti cooler, which means it's very lightweight, it's very durable, and it absorbs impact extremely well. It's got handles both on the top and on the side, making it easy to pick up and carry, or just roll it behind or in front of you. It's also extremely lightweight. It weighs only 26 pounds on its own, which once I added 2 basses to it, brought it to 42 pounds total, meaning that the airlines won't charge me extra because it doesn't weigh over 50 pounds. And that's awesome. It's really easy to open. All you gotta do is just slide this latch back right here and the lid comes down nice and easy. The inside of the case is covered in heavy-duty foam. And you'll see that my basses are floated in there between the foam at both the neck and at the body. So they're never, ever making contact with each other or the case in any way. And it does an amazing job of keeping the instrument safe. Here's what it looks like when dropping this case with my 2 most cherished instruments inside of it on hard cement. The instruments are perfectly safe, as you can see, so I can confidently say that I have 0 worries about my basses getting damaged in transit. And another cool feature is that these foam inserts are completely movable, so you can adjust it however you like to fit whichever instruments you need to put in there. And they also send you this really cool ENKI carrying case for, wireless packs, tools, cables, picks, any smaller items that you need to take to the gig. And this carrying case is compression fit to the inside of the case, so it will not come loose and flop around or attack your instruments during transit. And probably my favorite aspect of this case is the fact that the lid slides completely off, so it actually doubles as a guitar boat or a guitar stand on stage. So now you have one less thing to bring with you to the gig. And this thing is also weather sealed against rain and snow. Now it's not waterproof, so you can't take it swimming if that was something you planned on doing. Don't do that, but it will protect it against harsh weather conditions. So having said all of that, all the good stuff, let's talk now about the places where this case kind of falls short. And to be honest, none of them are really deal breakers for me. And oddly enough, everything that I don't like about this case has to do with its rolling capabilities. The AMG-2 can get a little wobbly and may even tip over when crossing thresholds like this, or even just rolling it across uneven surfaces like brick or stone. And also, something really interesting happened in the last leg of this tour that I was on. We land in Omaha, Nebraska, and we're waiting at the baggage claim. Finally, it comes up. I grab my case and I start rolling it away, and it is really, really wobbly. And I am not on an unstable surface or threshold. It's a smooth tile airport floor, And so, I flip it over and I look at it, and the wheels are like this. I guess they got bent in transit. So it's causing it to wobble all over the place, which kind of irked me a little bit, but I found that if I just flipped it around and pushed it rather than pulled it, I didn't have that issue. So I was like, okay, that's the Band-Aid for the moment. I'll just push it ahead of me. So then I get home a few days later and I call Dave up on the phone. He's the owner at ENKI. And I told him what happened about the wheels bending and it's all wobbly. And here's what he says. He says, actually, all of those components, like the bolts and nuts and washers, he said those are all like really cheap components that you can just pick up at your local hardware store. And the wheel is just a 72 millimeter rollerblade wheel. So if it breaks, you can just swap that out too. And it got me thinking, that's actually a pretty smart move because all I have to do now is just run to the hardware store and for $1, pick up enough components to replace everything on it 10 times over, right? Just keep them in the gig bag, and if something breaks, I can fix it right there on the spot. I don't have to ship it back to Montana, pay shipping prices, and wait 2 weeks for them to fix it and then send it back to me. So I'm thinking, all right, cool. I'll just run to the hardware store down the street, pick up a couple of components, and I'll be good to go. But then something else hits me. I'm like, Dave, wait a minute. Did you say this thing uses rollerblade wheels on it? And he goes, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, dude, I skateboarded for like 10 years and they use the same bearings. Could I just throw skateboard wheels on this thing? And I was like, yeah, I don't see why not. And it got me to think, I was like, dude, well, rollerblade wheels are kind of narrow. Skateboard wheels are fat and wide. That would actually help with the problems I was having with it being unstable over thresholds or, going too fast or over certain, rough terrain and stuff. So I'm like, dude, actually, I'm gonna hot rod this thing out. I'm gonna go pick up some Spitfire wheels or something. And I'm gonna put skateboard wheels on this thing to make it more durable. And that's exactly what I did. And so then Dave and I spent like literally the next hour just emailing each other back and forth from our local skate shops, me in Los Angeles, him in Bozeman, Montana. And so we were just trying out different skateboard wheels to see which ones would work best. He ended up with a set of, if I remember correctly, 62 millimeter Santa Cruz wheels. I opted for a larger set, some 69 millimeter Powell Peraltas, because my friend Brad McLean rides for them. And also they were red and they had these cool skeleton hands on them. So like I said, it kind of ended up being like a blessing in disguise because it gave me a chance to hot rod out this thing and make it my own, and also kind of improve the stability of it. So that's really everything I have to say about this thing. I can honestly say, truthfully, I am not worried about the safety of my instruments at all when they're inside this case. I give this thing my full blessing because if you think about it, it's super awesome. And its many benefits far outweigh its rather minor shortcomings. So if you want to learn more about it, just head over to enkiusa.com. That's ENKIUSA.com. Be sure to say hi to Dave and tell him that Jamie sent you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you'll get more great videos just like this. And if you haven't yet, be sure to check out my free weekly podcast called The Bassist Podcast. You'll find it wherever podcasts are heard. I'm Jamie Lewis, and thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next time here at thebassist.net. Hey, if you like what I do, please click on the subscribe button right here. And if you really like what I do, then click over here to see how affordable it is to join me at thebassist.net. But if you just want the free stuff, then click here to check out whatever YouTube's sophisticated robots think you should watch next. I'm sure they know what's best for you.